As we head into the Thanksgiving weekend, food banks across the country continue to see a surge in demand. Joining me now is Neil Hetherington, CEO of the Daily Bread Food Bank. Neil, thanks as always for joining us, and I know how busy you are right now.
It's incredibly busy. The hopeful side is that there are some 200 or so volunteers here giving their time on Thanksgiving weekend. The challenging side is just the need that we are seeing in the city and our country when it comes to food insecurity. And we're at a point now where 1 in 10 Torontonians makes use of the Daily Bread Food Bank, and it has been incredibly difficult to keep up with demand.
Have things gotten any better? Have they gotten worse, stabilized?
Were a couple of hopeful signs that we were plateauing over the course of the summer. I'm ever hopeful on that front, but we're still adding about 12 to 14,000 individuals who have never used a food bank before coming for the very first time to the Daily Bread Food Bank. So that has resulted in us having to increase our expenditures on food from $1.5 million per year to this year $29 million. And so that's a pre-pandemic to current. $29 million is what we have to spend. We, of course, receive no government funding, nor do we want it. And so we are dependent on the community to come together and say enough is enough. We're contributing to feed the need now, and at the same time, together we're going to advocate for change.
Who are some of the people now that have been forced to use food banks?
Well, the largest segment of individuals coming to food banks now are individuals with full-time employment. And more than 60% have a college or a university education. They've done everything right. You know, growing up, I was always told, you go to school, you get a job, you work hard, you'll be fine. That promise is no longer the case for so many Canadians right now. In fact, 9 million Canadians are food insecure. And just, Roger, when you and I were growing up, food bank usage was always sort of on the fringe. It was always something that, just a small group of the population needed. And no longer is that the case. It has come home. It's the individual who's sitting beside you on the streetcar. It's the individual across from you at the cubicle at your place of employment.
And what is there, I want to say a simple solution, but what is the answer to this? We have this conversation. What's it going to take?
Yeah, it's going to take three things. One is the development of affordable housing. There's been a whole lot of promises about massive expenditures on affordable housing, and that's good. Let's make sure that those promises of expenditures come into force and you start to see affordable housing being developed. We used to, as Canadians, be so proud of how many cooperative houses we built across the country. We're not doing that. We need to get back into that game. The next thing is income supports. The federal government brought forward the Canada Disability Benefit. We saw it very much as a down payment for something that has the opportunity to be able to bring about 1 million Canadians to 1.5 million Canadians out of poverty, so that they don't need charity. They don't need their friends or family to be able to pay for a meal. So affordable housing, income supports, and starting to see a decline in precarious employment. Those are the things we're looking for.
Okay, Neil, thank you as always for joining us, and hopefully one day we'll have a conversation where you're out of business.
I would love that. Thanks, Roger. Happy Thanksgiving.